What is up, everybody? I hope you're doing good. I hope you're doing great. It's a beautiful day. It's very dark in here. Let me make it a bit lighter. Is it better now? I'm sure it is better. Thank you very much. Let's start by doing this. You know how it goes. Thank you very much for stopping by once more. I appreciate you. I see a lot of people watching us from South Africa. Thank you. Zimbabwe. Thank you so much. Angola, Kenya, Uganda. Thank you very much. Ghana, Nigeria. Thank you so much. Sudan, Somalia, Ethiopia, Namibia, Malawi. I see you. I see you from the US. Thank you very much. From the UK, from Jamaica, Barbados, Brazil. I know a lot of people from South America. Greetings, brothers. Canada, Haiti. Thank you very much. You are very much appreciated. If you are not subscribed, I suggest you do so now. Please click on the button so we can make our voice bigger. Let's talk about doing this. If it's not done yet, please do it right now. Thank you. Okay, so we have a very long speech from a very interesting president, Yoweri Museveni of Uganda. Very strong person, a respectable human being in many areas. Okay, so he made a comment with regard to Niger. You know exactly what's happening in Niger right now. If you don't know what's happening in Niger, I suggest you watch one of these videos so you can understand and you can be on track. So we're going to try gain time, be very quick so we don't, abuse some of your time. So basically, President Yoweri Museveni was saying it very simply. The reason why there is issue right now in Niger, at least one of the main reasons why, is because of its uranium. Yes, Niger's tremendous amount of uranium that is needed for nuclear power, for energy, for so many other things. And the uranium is profited right now as we speak by France. So France gets the most of uranium from Niger and they use it for their own electricity. In the meantime, people from Niger don't have electricity. Let's watch.
You have heard of the quarrels going on in Niger, in West Africa, about uranium being taken to Europe. That's how I came to know recently. When this crisis started, we started getting information that apparently Niger is exporting a lot of uranium to Europe and to France for them to use in their nuclear power stations to generate electricity for themselves. So this morning I took interest. I said, by the way, what is the electricity supply in Niger? Before you sell uranium to the other person, how about you? What's happening to you? Now I found, I was told, there is a measurement they call kilowatt hour per capita. The kilowatt hour per capita of electricity in Niger is 51. 51. Every person in Niger is using 51 kilowatt hour per capita. The GDP of Niger is US dollars 613. Now, here in Uganda, our kilowatt hour per capita was very low, was like this some years ago, was as low as this one of Niger. But now it's about 300. Still very low, but that's where it is.
All right, like you see, President Yoweri Museveni doesn't chew his words, okay? He tells it like it is. He doesn't play. He says it doesn't make any sense that Niger produces so much uranium for Europe. But in the meantime, people of Niger have no electricity. It makes absolute nonsense. As you can see, he gives an example saying that Uganda has some uranium and lithium. Some countries came to Uganda saying, listen, we'd like to take some of your stuff, some of your raw minerals and go produce in our country. He asked, where do you want to produce this? He said, we want to take it to our country. Museveni said, no, you're not going to do that. If you would like to produce stuff, come build the plant here. How about we produce those batteries here in Uganda? Equip our people with the knowledge, equip them with the experience, get the business running here from Uganda, and give opportunity to the people. How about that? Let's watch.
Now, Uganda has got a lot of uranium. Some years ago, a Western company came and proposed to mine the uranium. They came here, said they want to mine the uranium. I asked them, mine it and take it where? They said, export it. That was their answer. I asked them, export it for what purposes? They told me, for the purposes of generating nuclear energy, for electricity, and other uses such as medicine, vector control, etc. I then asked them, have you heard a rumor that there are some human beings here in Uganda who need electricity, who need nuclear medicine, and who need vector control services? I asked them, you want to take the uranium, but have you heard a rumor that there are some human beings here? It's not confirmed that they are there, but could it be a rumor that there are some human beings here? Why don't you propose to build that capacity here for the benefit of these human beings who live in Uganda? And maybe we can put aside some quantity of uranium for supporting the economies of our friends in the West. After that, after you have addressed my issue, I can also share with you so that you also go and solve yours. But to tell me that you solve my problems and forget yours, I cannot accept that. They never came back. They never came back. So the uranium of Uganda is sleeping in the ground.
Why do you want to take raw materials from Africa and take it to Europe and elsewhere? After he asked that, those Europeans were not happy. He said to them, come and build your industry here in Uganda. They refused to do so and say, you know what, it's fine. We're going to keep the uranium under the ground. When we're going to need it, we're going to use it for Ugandans. Bravo! And after that, like he said, the deal was for the Russian and the Korean to build a power station that combines up to 15,000 megawatts. Okay? 15,000 megawatts. As we speak right now, the power station that Uganda has can only produce 640 megawatts. But they've got a deal with the Russians and the Koreans to produce a power station that can go up to 15,000 megawatts. Isn't that a win? That's what we call a win.
What if the value addition is done to other raw materials like copper, gold, iron ore, lithium, etc.? Money to Africa will mean higher purchasing power for Africa. The Africans who now lack electricity will be able to afford to pay for electricity. Where will the turbines come from, the ones for generating the electricity? What are the GDP sizes of other much smaller individual countries? Here below are some examples. USA, 25.5 trillion. Africa, 2.7 trillion. USA, 25 trillion. China, 17.9 trillion, almost 18 trillion. You have heard of the quarrels going on in Niger. There's a crisis now in an African country known as Niger. I think some of our friends from West Africa know it better, Togo and Cameroon, they know it better. You have heard of the quarrels going on in Niger, in West Africa, about uranium being taken to Europe. That's how I came to know recently. When this crisis started, we started getting information that apparently Niger is exporting a lot of uranium to Europe and to France for them to use in their nuclear power stations to generate electricity for themselves. So this morning I took interest. I said, by the way, what is the electricity supply in Niger? Before you sell uranium to the other person, how about you? And Africa, we who are here, we get only US dollars 2.4 billion. A kilogram of bean coffee of good quality may go for US dollars 2.5 billion to $2.5 a kilo of good quality. They call it something, some Q something. They give them some names. You may get $2.5. The same quantity of coffee, roasted, ground, and packaged outside may go for US dollars 40. For what Africa gets $2.5, somebody else gets $40. This is where there is massive hemorrhage of money from the global south to the global north. It is not only the loss of money per kilo, it is also the loss of jobs, because these are jobs. The one who roasts is a job. The one who grinds is a job. The one who packages is a job. All those jobs are exported.
Okay, President Museveni said this. Niger has more uranium than Uganda, but Uganda has more electricity than Niger. How do you explain that? There is no logical explanation to that. President Museveni said again, it makes no sense that a continent with 1.5 billion human beings, with a combined GDP of $2.7 trillion, compared to the United States, with just one country that has $27 trillion as a GDP. Africa in its whole only has $2.7 trillion GDP, while the United States have $25 trillion GDP and China 18 trillion. It makes no sense. So it's about time they let Africans produce their stuff. Africa deal with the raw materials. Africa work with things that they have in order to produce and be successful. It's very simple, fellas. Once you have the raw material and you have to export it, doesn't matter what it is, whether it's gold, diamonds, or any other thing, lithium, if it's not produced in Africa, you are not benefiting from it. People that are benefiting from it are the people that are producing and manufacturing it. It doesn't matter how much gold, diamond, lithium, whatever you have, if you are not producing it in your country, while other people are using lithium to produce electric cars, to make money for themselves, to enrich their country, to enrich themselves, you are remaining poor. And I think now Africans have realized that. Let me know how you feel about this. Thank you very much. I appreciate you. Please don't go without leaving your comments. We need to read from you. We have been reading from you, and it's very enriching. God bless.